Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today's Wednesday. It is the 7th day of December 2022. Actually, the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. I hope you're healthy and safe today. I hope your family is healthy and safe, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, who every day are trying to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks and parks and buildings and stairwells clean. And those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and the children that are unfortunately victims of child molestation and pedophilia. And also the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, the victims of pornography and child pornography, the victims also of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and sex slavery as well. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on the perverts, double curses on the profiteers of these things. Finally, blessings upon the homeless, nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, mostly children, living on the streets of the United States with no roof over their heads, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a scheduled basketball game tonight. The Knicks will be taking on one of their arch rivals in the ATL, the Atlanta Hawks. And tonight, we're dealing with Batman and Robin against not the Joker, not the Riddler, not the Penguin. No, tonight they're taking on the Leprechaun. Now, Atlanta beat the Knicks 112-99 the last time they played on November 2nd. But at that time, things were a little different. That time, you had Evan Fournier in your starting lineup at that time. It was soon after that Tom removed Evan Fournier from the starting lineup, moved him completely from the rotation eventually. Then between that time and tonight, you had Cam Reddish starting. And that was going pretty good till Cam pulled his groin. At the first time we played Atlanta, Quentin Grimes wasn't available. So tonight, Batman pulling out of his utility belt, Quentin Grimes in the starting lineup. That starting lineup is +5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That starting lineup is +5. Let me just take a look at that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. That starting lineup has played 126 minutes together. You're talking about Barrett, Brunson, Grimes, Randall, Robinson. Plus 4.7, which is the most on the team in terms of minutes, plus minus. It's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. So I'm thinking we're in pretty good shape today. But then Mobb Deep features tonight and hopefully going forward. Tom is putting with Mobb Deep. He's pulling with Mobb Deep, the Deuce card. Now, we were talking in the first Atlanta game, which is November 2nd, which is about a month ago. We were talking about the need to upgrade the defense. At that time, we knew that Evan Fournier was a weakness. We knew that Jalen Brunson was a weakness. We knew that Julius Randle was a weakness. Some of y'all seem to think RJ is. I don't. But we know that these other three, I think, was a consensus. They were weaknesses on defense. Now, you're not going to do anything about Jalen Brunson. He's your starting point guard. Though he's a weakness on defense, you got to work around that. But you got to have some defenders around him. Julius Randle's problem is not that he doesn't have the physical ability to play defense. He didn't have the desire or the IQ half the time to play defense. But those are two things you got to deal with. Like I said, some of y'all seem to think that Knicks supposed to go to the ECF this year. They not. We're looking for 45 wins. We're looking for a playoff appearance, maybe a first round win. But they're not going to the ECF this year. So some of y'all think, well, they got a high, they got a ceiling, they're not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. What do you expect them to go? See, it's really, a lot of times I find in life and in business, it's the management of expectations. What are you expecting? What are you expecting? So if the Knicks are trying to trade, for example, Julius Randle, they're not going to tell you, he doesn't give a crap on defense and he has attitude and he's not a team player. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to say he's a great team player. His attitude's great. He hustles. He's really busting his tail because they're trying to trade him. Some of you seem to think that they're supposed to be negative in the media about him, like y'all are. And somebody I said RJ's having a terrible season. 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 78% from the line, career high is a terrible season. I'll take that. That's what I'm saying. It's about the expectations instead of just drinking negative Kool-Aid. So we're expecting the Knicks to get 45 games, win 45 games this year. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting a first round playoff appearance. I'm hoping we can turn that into a playoff win. But that's, let's get there first. But that's my expectations. And so to me, they're on track for that expectation in terms of not just wins, losses, but in terms of the progress. Because as I mentioned, the Knicks are a work in progress, which means they're going to get better as the season goes on. So now you're going to have a starting five that I could work with. Like, I'd rather have Cam, but you can't do nothing about that. Cam, there's no room for him to play. Get over that, some of y'all. I know some of y'all are whining about that, but hey, let's move forward. So that's the starting five. I think we're going to be all right. Then you're going to pull Obi, Quick, Deuce, Hartenstein. I feel like I said, my belief is the cream rises to the top. And I really feel like eventually Sims is going to take that spot. Eventually. But for now, it's Hartenstein. So it's Hartenstein, Obi, Deuce, and IQ. I like that. We've been looking for more defense. Now we got it. Sims, Grimes is an elite defender, as is Deuce. Mitchell Robinson is an elite defender. So you get some defense coming in there. Obi is a really good defender too. He's under Tom Thibodeau turned into a really good defender. So I like the way this is looking. I like our chances against the ATL, even though it seems like Madison Square Garden this year, as last year, hasn't been the best place for the Knicks to play. I still like our chances tonight. DeJounte Murray destroyed us the last game, both sides of the basketball, just locking up people on the offensive side of the ball, locking up Brunson and stealing the ball constantly. He was a pest. And he basically destroyed us single-handedly the last time they came. So here they come again with the Leprechaun and with DeJounte. I think we got something for him this time. Not saying we're going to lock either of these cats up. Again, when guys are that good in the NBA, this is the league, you can't expect to lock them up. But you can slow them down. And if you can slow them down, that gives you a chance to win the ball game in the NBA. So that's what we're looking for tonight. We're looking for the perimeter defense of Grimes, along with Brunson. Brunson's going to have to stick with the Leprechaun. I feel like he could do that at least a little bit. But what bothers me about Brunson, even though he tries, he really does. I mean, he's not one of these guards that just doesn't give a crap on defense. He tries. But the problem is, he cannot, stay in front of a guy like the Leprechaun. So that's going to be a problem because when they start breaking you down like that and getting into the lane, there's a problem. Therefore, the Knicks are going to have to try to build little walls, to try to slow the Leprechaun down, stop him from getting in the lane, make him pass the ball out. The good thing is tonight, as far as I know, I think DeAndre Hunter is out. I think DeAndre Hunter's out. I think he's out. Let me just double check that. I think he's listed as he's out a week. DeAndre Hunter will miss at least a week. Right hip flexor. John Collins is out 2 weeks. Left ankle sprain. Now that doesn't mean that they got enough depth to beat us now because they still got AJ Griffin's a rookie, but he's playing good. They got Bogdanovich back. They got Bogdanovich back. They got the Holiday boys. Even though it was strange, the last game they played, they DNP'd both Holiday boys, which I don't know what's going on there. They still got Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu. And Jalen Johnson he's an enigma to me. Extremely talented Jalen Johnson. But there's something with his attitude out of Duke that caused his stock to drop. And I don't know, maybe, hopefully he gets better because the kid is really talented. Atlanta drafted him out of Duke. And he was like, I don't even think he played his freshman year or a lot of his freshman year. I think he pulled himself off the team or something because he just wanted to save himself for the draft. But it was just a bitter taste in the mouths of a lot of people. And so his stock dropped. But talent wise, this kid's got talent. So hopefully, they could work something out with him, but not against us. So they got talent there. They got talent there to beat us, no doubt about it. So the Knicks are going to have to come prepared. I'm very confident. This is not like, with regard to Deuce, this is not like last year. What do I mean by that? If some of you, who really follow the Knicks, remember the Houston game last year when Deuce went off and controlled the game down the stretch for the Knicks to win in COVID, plague season. And then he got COVID, and then he came back against Toronto and turned the ball over once or twice, and Tom pulled him like immediately, and then he didn't see the court again for a few games. This is a different season. This is a different Deuce. This is a different relationship between Deuce and Tom, and that Tom trusts Deuce now. Deuce has grown. Deuce has matured. Deuce is even last year he was in shape, former football player, but he's actually in better shape this year than he was last year. So I'm expecting Deuce to pretty much stay in the rotation going forward. The only way, like, for Cam to get back in the rotation is for a trade to happen or an injury to happen. I hope no injuries happen, but I do hope a trade happens. A Julius Randle trade would open up minutes for Cam. Okay, because then you're going to start Obi, and Cam will be backing up Obi, Grimes, or RJ, with the rest of the Mobb Deep. So that would open up minutes for him, and I hope that trade does take place. If it doesn't, I feel like it's a lock that the Knicks are going to trade Evan Fournier. That's a lock, unless they can't, they're going to trade him. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 70% they're going to trade Emmanuel quickly. So that would also open up a quickly trade would open up minutes for Cam as well. And I feel like that's going to happen, because, and again, some of y'all just can't get it out your skulls that a trade doesn't mean a team is giving up on a player or trying to get rid of a player. Sometimes the player is looking for better opportunities. I don't know how much clearer I could say that. And this is the case with Emmanuel quickly. He's going to look for better opportunities, which means he can be a starter, or at least he believes he can. I do too, on several teams in the NBA. That being the case, he wants to start. He doesn't want to stay behind Jalen Brunson. Therefore, the Knicks are going to, in order to help him and maybe get some assets back, facilitate a trade. This is not unusual in the NBA. So Emmanuel quickly is looking for greener pastures in terms of a starting opportunity. I know some of you are saying, why is he saying it like that? Because I still get people talking about, why are we getting rid of him? We don't get rid of him. We just pay him. No, it's not that simple. He can get paid anywhere. Okay? It's not that. He wants to start, and he can start. He can start. I was watching last night. I got joy last night watching Detroit Pistons beat the Miami Heat in Miami. Yes, Detroit beat Miami in Miami. And I was watching Miami, and I'm looking at their starting unit, and it includes Kyle Lowry. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Kyle Lowry has lost 2 steps, man. He was never that quick. He's still savvy, but IQ could start in his place. There's no doubt in my mind. Emmanuel quickly could start for Miami Heat. He could. And of course, I already mentioned teams like San Antonio, teams like Minnesota, teams like Washington Wizards, teams like Houston Rockets, all those teams he could start for. Okay? And Miami would be a tremendous opportunity for him. I mean, last night they lost. Tyler Hero scored 34 points and he shot 12 of 17. I think he hit his first 9 shots in a row or something like that. It was ridiculous. And so, but Detroit was playing inspired ball last night. Bogdanovich had 31. They call him Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart. I like watching him. I like his game, man. He got 11 and 11. Not Kevin Knox. They had Kevin Knox guarding Hero to try to lock him up. Kevin did a good job too after a while. So you had all of that going on last night. They had 6 guys in double figures. Alec Burks came off the bench and was killing them in the fourth quarter. It was nice to see. So, but there's a lot of teams Emmanuel Quickley can start for. And that's why he's going to be traded. It's not like the Knicks are trying to get rid of him. They see the writing on the wall, as smart management would, and they're saying, okay, we're going to lose this kid anyway. So what can we get for him? And who wants him and what are they going to bid for him? Period. And Emmanuel Quickley is going to say, good, I get the opportunity to get the keys of a team and start. That's what this is about. But tonight, we got Quick. So tonight, he's part of Mobb Deep. But Cam's opportunity could come as a result of that trade. So then you can bring Cam in. Cam would not be competing for minutes with anybody at that point. He's in the rotation and he'd be a permanent fixture unless he got hurt in the rotation in that scenario. So I'm thinking that that's going to happen eventually. So Cam's sitting is temporary. Really is. I really feel like it is. One way or the other. Because even if they trade him, which I hope they don't, but even if they trade him, he's going to play. Because he's just too good, unless he hurts himself. So, and hopefully he stays healthy. And this is another thing. Him sitting right now, hopefully he's conditioning, getting himself ready, getting his groin fully healed. Because I feel like he's going to get his opportunity. And I feel like if they do make a Quickley trade, Cam is going to be an important piece coming down the stretch of the season when we're trying to get playoff position. So, not worry about Cam right now. Right now, it's Deuce time. So let's enjoy it. Tonight at MSG, the ATL and the Leprechaun come to town, and we got to see if we can get this W for multiple reasons. But let's get this W, y'all. Enjoy it. Shalom.